Hello, friends. This is Chris. I'm from Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness, and this is our instructional video on Kapalabhati mixed with a Kumbhaka breath retention. So this will take a little bit longer to go through the instructions the first time, but we'll do a follow-up video with a fairly beefy and intense practice. Now, Kapalabhati sometimes is referred to as breath of fire. You'll also hear, my understanding of the Sanskrit translation is either skull cleansing breath or skull shining breath. It's all the same breath. So from a safety standpoint, what I would like you to know, this breath is vasoconstricting. So it will shrink down the size of the blood vessels. It will constrict them. So expect an increase in pulse rate, increase in body temperature, increase in blood pressure, also an increase in energy. So use this breath under similar circumstances to when you would use a cup of coffee. So first thing in the morning, early in the day, maybe right before you work out. If you need a boost later in the day, this is one that you might use. But if you do a Kapalabhati breath too late in the evening, just know that it could negatively impact your sleep. So use it with some caution. From a safety standpoint, because this breath work is vasoconstricting, sometimes people report getting lightheaded, right? So I'll be cueing you in tandem with snaps for the pace of that sharp exhale, and I'll cue you for how to do the exhale later. If you're doing the breath work at the pace that I'm cueing it and you get lightheaded, slow the pace down. You can do this at your own pace. That's no problem. Slow the pace, slow the tempo. If you do the breath work, you get lightheaded, you slow the pace and tempo, and the lightheadedness doesn't go away or it gets worse, stop this breath practice. And at least for now, let's talk about finding you a water category breath, something that's more of a balancing breath. We'll still lift you up if you're low energy. We'll still bring you up into a higher energy state. So I'm going to do this instructional video seated in a chair. So you could do the same thing from a chair. You could also do a seated position on the floor. So pause the recording, get yourself all set up and ready, and then I'll meet you in your practice space again here in just a moment. Right, so for this breath practice, the mechanics of how the breath itself will work. On an inhale, you'll make exhale like a sneezing noise out through the nose, a sharp, piercing exhale through the nose. At the same time, snap your belly button back towards your spine. You might visualize someone had thrown you a football, and you're catching the football in your belly as it approaches your body. And then as you inhale, just relax the belly button. You don't have to push it back out, just let it fall back out. So it's belly button snaps back to spine as a sharp exhale, sneezing sound through the nose, and then just let it relax back out. So we'll do, when we get into the practice in the next video, we're going to do 50 of these, which is pretty beefy. That means you could dial it back, maybe start with 20. 20 might be fine. If after over time your body wants more of this, you could also increase it up to 100. 3 rounds of 100 for someone that's practiced this for a while, I think is 100% reasonable. At the end of one iteration, I'll cue you to exhale out all your breath, and then we're going to do a breath retention. It's called Kumbhaka. We'll do 2 rounds per breath cycle, one with lungs empty, one with lungs filled. What I'll cue you to do, exhale out all your breath, then I'll cue you to lift your pelvic floor. So to lift the pelvic floor, draw your belly button in towards your spine, and then lift it up as if you could touch yourself in the sternum, and then lower your chest to your chin to your chest. And we'll do a breath hold here for a timed count. And then I'll cue you to inhale as you lift your chin, relax your pelvic floor, and then at the top, hold the breath, lift the pelvic floor, chin to chest, chest to chin, and hold. And we'll do this for a time sequence. And then I will cue you to exhale as you release the pelvic floor, lift your chin. The first 2 times after I release you from this breath retention, I'll cue you to take a half breath. We'll roll right into the next cycle. After that, when we get to that 3rd round, if you want to continue, you can. But from my perspective, 3 rounds of 50 is more than a good starting point. That's a fairly advanced breath practice. So just for today, for this instructional phase, Let's do a single round of 20. So I will snap to keep cadence. Um, Exhale each time I snap or slow it down for your body. All right, so cup your hands on your knees, take in a half breath, and then begin. Sharp exhale through your nose, snap your belly button to your spine. Exhale, exhale, exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out all your breath. Lift your pelvic floor, hold your breath, chest to chin, chin to chest. And then inhale, gently lift your chin, release your pelvic floor, full lungs, hold the breath, lift your pelvic floor, chin to chest, chest to chin, and hold. And then exhale, as you lift the chin, release your pelvic floor, right? So this is the instructional phase for Kapalabhati. The next video will do a pretty beefy breath practice. So it'll be 3 rounds of 50 reps of Kapalabhati breath. Well, friends, once again, I'm Chris. I'm from Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness, and this is your Kapalabhati in tandem with Kumbhaka instructional video. So I will post in tandem with this another one with a fairly beefy morning practice that includes 3 rounds of 50 reps of Kapalabhati with a Kumbhaka practice. I salute you and admire you for your willingness to take on this breath practice. This is really advanced work, and this is super impactful of you taking control of managing your own nervous system. You're doing great. Keep going.